Hi, my name is Angie Ebba, and I'm here today to talk to you about small noticings, which is a writing practice that we can all do in order to kind of get ourselves grounded in the present. And I like to think of it almost as a meditative writing practice. This is a practice that you can do with your entire family. It's good for folks of all ages. The term small noticings was coined by a poet named Samuel Green, and I like to think of small noticings really as just very careful and close observations. One of my favorite ways to go about doing small noticings is actually to get out into the natural world and do them. And so what I wanted to do today is to share with you a writing exercise based on small noticings that you can do out in the world. So be that on your front porch, be that out in your backyard with a friend, or be that going on a walk with your family. This is something that you can do as a writing practice that will help to kind of get your creative juices flowing and also help to ground you in the present, which is really helpful given all that is going on in our world right now and some of our tendencies to maybe get anxious about what's to come. These practices that can ground us in the current moment are really helpful. This is also great if you're an artist of any sort or wanting to get your creativity flowing in new ways, get you thinking outside of the box. So what I'd love for you to do is come join me outside. Right now I've brought my pen and my paper out into the backyard, and if you listen really carefully, you can hear the birds singing. You can hear cars going by. If I inhale, I can smell the fresh cut grass from some of the neighbors who have cut their grass recently. Looking around, I see a whole lot of spring flowers that have come up, including this beautiful little one that I'm going to be doing some writing about. So just bringing your notebook out into your backyard is a great way to do this. You can also go for a walk, which my child and I did earlier today, and I'll share some of the clips that I got from that. Or if you want, you can have somebody bring in or bring something in yourself from outside and sit inside your house and do your writing. So the way I like to do this is to take a timer and set it for 1 minute. And for 1 minute, you are going to write down all of your observations in really clear, concrete details from one of your senses. So for example, I brought in this little purple flower from outside. So for the first minute, I'm going to write down all of the concrete details that I can about what I see with this flower. Then I'll set my timer again for a minute, and I'll do all of the details about what I can smell. Taste is a weird one. Sometimes I leave that off, but I do always like to add in what I call the sixth sense, which is what does this bring up as far as emotions for me. So I work my way through the 5 physical senses one at a time, spending 1 minute writing down as many concrete details as I can, and then I add in that sixth sense of what does this bring up for me emotion-wise. Earlier today while I was out walking with my child, I saw this beautiful tree that had these tiny little white petals on it, and a gust of wind blew up and swirled them around. It was almost like momentarily we were in a little snowstorm. So for that, I might write down something like the white fragile petals dance in a flurry. I also, while I was out, saw these fuzzy little leaves, and I felt them, and they felt almost like the fur of a rabbit. And so I might write something down like leaf, white, fuzzy like a rabbit. So we're engaging all of our 5 senses into the observation of the natural world around us. So again, just to review, you are going to either go outside into the natural world or somehow bring a piece of the natural world into your home. And you're going to sit with that, be really present and really in the moment. Use all of your senses that you're able to observe the item. And then you are going to set a timer and write for 1 minute for each sense: sight, sound, touch, smell, possibly taste, and then also feeling or emotion, getting as much detail as possible written down. Once you have all this done, you can either turn your writing into some poems, or you can just use it as a way to really ground yourself and meditate in the moment. I hope that you enjoyed this activity and that you are able to take 5 minutes out of your day every so often and do this writing activity. Thanks so much for joining me.